there's an interaction between the mineral kingdom and water that's so advanced that I don't even know what questions to ask about it yet.
It's all about energy. The connecting link is energy. The first question I always get asked is, how does it work through the glass? Because as you know, we have these glass vials here. All our stones are encased in glass. Also, the bottle, you just had one too. It has this gem pot down here. Stones are encased in that glass gem pot. How does it go? How does it work? The fascinating thing, it's all about the energy of the stones. They just vibrate. Everything in nature vibrates on a very subtle base. And the stones they soaked up gathered their energy over eons of years. And every stone has a different energy. Every kind of stone has a different energy, and thus changes the water in a different way. There's a couple of interesting ways to test it. Of course, you got to be aware that our approach is it's a very traditional one. It's not something to do with high technology. It's not rocket science. It's just crystals in water. It might sound simple, but it worked for hundreds of thousands of years because it's a little bit like an almost homeopathic approach. It works different for everybody, and it's something that it's very hard to measure. There is a couple of ways to measure it. We've been partnering very, very early in our endeavor with a lab called Hado Life. Hado Life they do wonderful pictures of crystals. Water crystals, frozen water, and they show you how the crystals change before and after they've been treated. There's a very, very interesting approach by a Japanese scientist called Dr. Masaru Emoto. He also wrote interesting books about how water can be changed even if you talk to water, and that's also been one of the many inspirations that we had about how to change water. So one way to see how water changes is taking a look at those water crystals before and after. They just look beautiful. Another way of testing it, we talked about that last week, is about, you want to ask more questions?
No, I just want to say something about that, because, a lot of companies that move into changing the physics of water, they like to reference Dr. Emoto.
Yeah.
And, his New York Times bestseller, The Hidden Messages in Water, and they'll have pictures of his crystals. But you guys were actually endorsed by him while he was still alive, and he actually helped co-develop some products. Right, and the crystal pictures that we see, those are actually taken at the lab that he founded.
He co-founded this lab that we've been using as a reference in Liechtenstein, in Germany, and in Europe. And his oldest students, his name is Rasmus Gau-Burghausen. He's been the one who actually took the pictures. He's been the oldest student of Dr. Emoto, and I had the honor to meet Dr. Emoto too when he was visiting us in Germany a couple of years back. He passed away, and that's been a big loss for everybody, but I had the honor to meet him, and he loved what we do, and we just talked about his way of believing what water does and our way, and we've been working very closely with this laboratory in Europe with Hado Life, and they did a wonderful job. They still do, and we had that test done, the study that we talked about the other day in Germany from Hagales, the study that we conducted, showing that, of course, it also changes the values, the variables of water somehow, the pH value, at least we did with a couple of blends that we have, and that was just fascinating to see. It does change and restructure the water, and we've had several sources like Michael Ginger on the crystal side, for example, like Masaru, the ideas at least of Masaru Emoto on the water side. Many others. I've been inspired by this wonderful scientist, Dr. Pollack, for example. We talked about him the other day, about the wonderful book that he wrote. So there's many sources and many inspirations that we've been having in the past, and all of these wonderful people have been just pillars of our inspiration to create VitaJuwel.